from a local plan perspective, the district council doesn't have to make allocations as it's done traditionally to towns and villages. I really like local communities to decide what's going to work and where in their places. So I think if people can do strong, fast local plans, then they'll be able to take on those decisions for themselves. They're in a far better place to make the judgments about what will work and what will matter and what will make a difference in their communities than we are in the district council.
We have a small number of businesses, some of which are struggling, as they do in many villages, to see if we can help support them. Certainly protection of the cliff is a key priority for us. And also I think we're very keen on making sure that any development goes hand in hand with upgrading of infrastructure.
It is very positive. We also want to focus on developing business areas so that young people, if they want to set up their own businesses, there's going to be the opportunities for them to do that.
I mean, we were a front runner. I think our plan was one of the first dozen to be made. So, to be honest, we started working knowing nothing at all. And without very little help. I mean, one of the great things now is all the help and the example that's around. It makes life a lot easier.
You are likely to meet a certain amount of resistance from some residents, because no matter where you put housing, no matter how much consultation you do, the people that are most affected are probably going to be upset.
I think planning is the one issue for councils that is the most divisive issues within a community, and you're never going to overcome all of them. But against that, the idea of a neighbourhood plan at which a community identifies the things that it holds most dear is such a fantastic opportunity that I think that parishes accepting the risks and all the hard bargaining possibly that you have to do, neighbourhood planning is so good.
Now that we have the neighbourhood plan made, there is going to be a community group to carry out those projects identified during the neighbourhood plan that were not part of the planning process but that will bring benefit to the community, like renovating bus shelters or clearing out ditches. So this partnership between the parish council and the things the parish council can't deliver because it hasn't got the resources, and what the community group can deliver, is a huge benefit to the community as a whole.
The very positive thing is that during the course of all our work on this, it really came to our attention that although we're very fortunate to have two community centres in the village, a village hall which was built in 1929 and a later centre which was built in the 1960s, both have effectively come to the end of their design life. They don't provide capacity. They both need extensive and eye-wateringly expensive repairs, and there didn't seem to be any solution to that problem. And then we realised that by a very complex series of community right to build orders, we could actually arrive at a nice, brand new, large community facility, which was suddenly the cherry on the cake.
So we've got 3 allocated sites, but one of them will produce a brand new village green right in the centre of the village. Another of them will generate 2, maybe 3 football pitches, or that size area. They may not all be football pitches, they might be multi-use games area, other sports as well. But we've got a really big area, generous area of green space, which we didn't have before. We will have new children's playgrounds on each of the 3 sites, and on the 3rd site we've got a sort of linear green sort of space walkway that goes all around the perimeter of the site.
Have a very clear plan at the outset to engage the community from the beginning of the process. Even before you start the process, hold a public meeting, get the community along, explain what a neighbourhood plan is about and what a neighbourhood plan can do for your community.
You have to be aware of the costs in time, resources, more than money really. Money is obviously an important thing, but it's the time and the resources and getting the commitment and the local commitment, because it is a long, difficult process. It's fraught with problems, even if you do have the support of your local planning authority.
Crack on with it and solve your problems. The planning should be about problem solving. There's a tendency to think about it as new housing or new roads or perhaps even new employment, but it should be about making better places. And if people have a challenge about a bypass or perhaps a school that's got a falling roll number or a school that's not big enough and they need some cash to improve it, by making a plan and taking out some of the value of that new house building, they can change their places for the better.
From the community's perspective, I think really that the main piece of advice is, as I said earlier, if for every hour, for every pound that you put into planning advice, put as much effort into community engagement, into getting people on side, into relationships really, because that is probably the most difficult part of the neighbourhood planning. The planning bit is easy. It's getting people on board with it that takes the time and the effort, but is actually the really rewarding part of it as well.
The process of getting a neighbourhood plan adopted, the DCLG is intending to make it simpler and faster. So sustaining a team for a shorter time is good news. And also it's good news that it won't cost the parish an arm and a leg to do it. So all round, the next parish council meeting and the annual village meeting, I think that I should be able to stand up and say, I will lead for you.